Hello.
How's it, everybody? Welcome back to the R&R podcast, Roots and Resilience. It is our 7th episode. 7 being quite a good number. It means we're going somewhere, I think. And today we're actually going to be talking about picking yourself up from difficult challenges that you might have had in your life. So I'm going to ask my buddy Shane. He's going to kick us off because this is his topic. So
My topic, you put me on the spot here. It was my idea because you asked for ideas. No.
So let's get into it. Yeah.
No, just being real.
Yeah.
So I think as we discussed in the previous episode, just me personally going through challenges. The ultimate important part of that journey or that little season in your life is being able to pick yourself up, to get up, have the balls, have the courage, have the resilience to get up and fight back and get yourself back on that journey or that path that you were originally on, and wave to the haters out there and wave goodbye to them and wave hello to success. So it's a very important part of life. A lot of people always would say, when you fail, you can fall back onto this. Listen, create a goal with your passion and give it your all, man. Don't have backup plans. Yes, it's good to have backup plans, but at the same time, when you have a backup plan, your commitment to your original and your passion that you have for life and your zeal you have is not going to be powerful, because you're going to say, listen, okay, if I don't make it there, I'm going to go there. When you feel passionate about something and you're on that road, hit it hard, give it everything, fall forward. So if you fall, you're still moving forward because you learned through that process.
Yep. Yeah, no, 100%. I actually get exactly what you're saying. As a business, when you run your own business or when you start a business, you are very excited, like you're ready to go. You believe it's going to be a success. You believe you have the best idea in the world and everybody's going to buy your products and everybody's going to buy into what you're doing. But then reality hits, and sometimes through that journey of starting a business, for example, you quickly realize that things are not going the way you wanted to do. Maybe you're not getting all the sales that you're looking for. Maybe you're not getting enough clients. Maybe you're not being able to pay your bills, because that's also the reality of people in business. And just because you're going to hit stumbling blocks along the way, you're going to fall down, doesn't mean you need to give up on your goals. You know what I'm saying? If it means that you have to step out of your business just for a while, just to recuperate financially, for example, there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with doing it. There's still a plan. You need to do what you have to do to survive at the end of the day, right? So that means you go back into employment, for example. You work and you do the things that you need to do. But while you're doing that, you're still grinding. You're still building your business. You're still thinking about new ideas. You're still meeting with people. You're still chatting, about business ideas. And you're still committed to that business. So I think that's a good example of a person that might have given up completely. They might have said, you know what, actually, this is not for me. I'm just going to go work again. I'm going to go for what's safe. I'm going to go for what's secure. The difference with that person is that they're going to go through the motions and they're never going to know whether it could have worked. They're never going to know it because they've decided that this stumbling block that they face was too big and they can't overcome it. So they'll rather go for what is safe. Sometimes going for what is safe can be temporary, All respect to people that are out there working their day jobs, doing their side hustles, like they call it, because they are committed to, or rather they recognize that in today's life, you can't just have one thing. You can't just depend on a 9-to-5 job. Yes, there is some sense of stability with that, but the reality is that we all actually need to strive to think about ways that we can get more. Because life is expensive. Having a family is expensive. Having bills is expensive. you know, and the only way you can really free yourself from that is by having the capability to be self-sustainable. So we need to all move towards that in one or other way. And this false sense of security that can come from working in a corporate environment, and I say it's a false sense of security because a lot of people will tell you, like especially when we grew up, like our parents were very committed to this idea that you must get that job, you know, that you're gonna get the medical aid, you're gonna get the pension and all that stuff, and you're gonna work there till you're 60, and then that's it, right? And I get why, you know, people were passionate about that. I get why they try to push people into that direction, because it gave this false sense of stability. But the reality is very different, because that can be taken away from you at any time, you know. And the reality is also that who wants to wait till they're 60 to now enjoy the fruits of your labor?
Maybe enjoy 5
As long. Now, I wanna figure out a way that I can have good things happening to me right now. And if I can pursue that, then more power to me and more power to anybody else who is out there trying to do extra, you know, to build a life worth living, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to live every day to live a life worth living.
But at the same time, listening to what you said, we, with your, you know, explanation, we're looking at it more as a financial, right? But then there's people that's never, or parents were always staying in a backyard, in a windy house. Maybe a goal for a youngster growing up in that situation is just to get a house of their own one day and put their kids under a roof that they can call home. That is an awesome goal as well, if that is your situation. But also you still need to sustain yourself whilst doing that. But what you're trying to say is you don't have a job at the moment, but you've got that as a goal. Listen, go and volunteer somewhere. You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know who's going to watch what you're doing. Remember, everything you do in life is an interview.
That's a good saying.
No,
that's
everything in life is an interview, because you network. You ever heard the saying, "Na me bro, be lekker." You gotta be lekker, because that's what people want to deal with. They want to deal with lekker, and that's how you build yourself. I mean, the guy that's sweeping and being the caretaker, or you know, anything, the cleaning lady. Be the best at that, because in order to make it to the next step, you need to be good at that. You need to understand that, you know. So it's not just because I'm gonna be honest with you, Graham. Having your own business, it's not for everybody.
I agree with you.
It's not for everybody, because we all wired and we designed differently. But at the same time, just a normal laxy-daisy job is going to be a bread butter type of situation. So if you are going to get a job, let it be a challenged job, meaning a job that challenges you every day, which maybe hopefully a company is gonna it's gonna reward you based on your merits. So whatever you're doing in life, give it your all, man. You know, and it's not always gonna be so lekker. I mean, once upon a time you got retrenched.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
twice.
Oh, twice.
I got retrenched twice in my life. In my life, twice.
And you still here.
Yeah.
So you picked yourself up, obviously. So, you know, people go through these things, and that was your the second time you said, now you had enough now of being under someone else's judge and jury. You're gonna decide to be your own judge and jury.
Yeah, to touch on that. So the funny thing for me is, I think it always comes down to your mindset. It always does. I think nobody wants to be retrenched. Retrenchment, even the concept of the word is, when you hear it, or when it's at your door, if you want to put it in that way, it's something that can be debilitating. It's something that can bring in great concern, great frustration, uncertainty, anger, because you don't know why you're being put in it. You feel like a failure. You know, there's so many things that go with it. And why I say mindset is very important is because you need to be able to take that circumstance, and you need to be able to make something out of it. For me, it wasn't a negative thing. Both times. And I'm saying that with full confidence because it's the truth. It's the truth of my situation. I mean, just to go back, just to make a long story short, if I can, is that the first time I got retrenched, I was a student. So I studied marketing. That was my profession. That was what I studied for. And I ended up working in a job that wasn't in that discipline. So I didn't work in the marketing industry. And I was at this company for 3.5 years. I earned a great salary. It was a great position for me within the company that I was working for. I met my wife there, and it was never a difficult or a bad thing. So it became a safe space. And in all honesty, I would have never left it if I wasn't retrenched. Retrenchment for me was, in that instance, was a way out, was a push in the right direction, in the direction that I was supposed to go. So when it happened, it wasn't the best of times. I was engaged. We were getting married in that same year. So the timing couldn't have been worse. But despite that, I was excited. I made a choice that I'm going to be excited about this. This is pushing me into the direction I should go. And I mean, I was retrenched. We were in process of getting married. I was like, okay, well, I'll get a job. I'm going to do the job search and all that. And job search is not easy. It can take you months, sometimes years to find employment. And month 1 came and I didn't get a job. I had some interviews. Month 2 came, nothing happened. Month 3 came, and then it had to come to a decision-making point. I went for an interview at a company in Stellenbosch. I still remember it so clearly because I was very excited about this position because I thought it's like I knew this was my job. And I even went to the location of the place that I was going to work at because I thought, this is my job for sure. And then I didn't get the job. And at this point, myself and my fiance, now my wife, we made a decision that unfortunately we have to go back to our families and we have to tell them we can't get married as we planned because I'm not working yet. So it's not something that we can afford. It's not a wise decision to get married. And the weekend we were supposed to have that discussion with our families, it just didn't happen. Nobody was available. We couldn't get everybody together. And then we said, okay, we'll leave it for the next week. And that Monday, I get a call from this company. So remember, it's now been 2 weeks later that I heard that I was unsuccessful with that position. Now 2 weeks later come and they contact me again and they say, hey, Graham, are you still in the market? Are you still looking for a job? And I'm like, yes, I am. And they gave me like this assignment that I needed to do, for them to check like my abilities.
Credits.
Yeah. And then the next day, sent the presentation. The next day I got the job, in the marketing industry, a career path that started my journey into where I am today, and I worked in marketing for years after that. I built my experience, I built my abilities, and it was fantastic, and I was so thankful and grateful for the fact that this happened. We could then still get married in the same year. So everything lined up the way that it was supposed to, fortunately, in that situation. But for me, it was a choice for me. Yeah. I needed to be positive. Even when we were going to postpone our wedding, it was important that I be positive about this, knowing that retrenchment wasn't a squash. For me, it was, without a doubt, it was an opportunity to go in the direction I was supposed to go. And from there, I've always been an entrepreneurial mind. I've always wanted to start my own business. I've been doing business plans since I was at university and all of that. So I've always wanted to aspire to be a business owner. It's always something I wanted to do. But I was now working in corporate. I had a flourishing career, and then retrenchment knocked on my door again. And again, timing could have been better, but retrenchment is never happening in your time. No. It's going to happen whenever it happens. But now I'm again at a crossroads. Now it's like, what am I going to do? But again, remember, I went through this before. Yeah. I made a choice to be positive about it, and it led me down the path that I was supposed to go. So I knew I had experience with what it meant to be positive when you go in that direction. The second time around, I knew that this retrenchment was now. So the first one was taking me into the marketing industry. The second one was taking me into becoming a business owner. Literally, that's how I saw it. And that's what I did. I was like, you know what? I've now got 11 years experience at that time working in the marketing industry. My skills and abilities that I have, I can use for multiple businesses. It doesn't just have to be for one company. And that's what led me into starting my business. And 5 years later, I'm still running my business. You know, thank God for that. You know, so for me, retrenchment was an opportunity. So 100%. My challenge in summing up that long story is that you decide whether, when you get pressed down, whether it's an opportunity or whether it's a disadvantage for you, whether it's a depression, because it can be a depression as well, it can be a pitfall, 100%. Exactly. But the choice rests with you. And there are many stories in the world where people have been pressed down. You are not the first. I was not the first.
You're not the last.
And you're not the last. But it's your choice with what you do with that. Recently, I was considering this concept of value. And when I talk value, I'm talking about value as you as a person. You are valuable. I am valuable, right? I have value. I have something to give. I have something to bring to the table. But when you are undervalued, sometimes you allow that being undervalued to make you feel undervalued. But you're not. You're still valuable. Remember, perspective is everything. If someone undervalues something you do, if someone says to you that, no, but I don't like the way you did it. I don't like the way you dress. I don't like this, or whatever they think they don't like about you or about how you do something. Remember, it has nothing to do with whether you are valuable or not. Don't attach value to people's opinions. Attach value to the fact that you have been created to be a valuable being with value to share. Your time is valuable. Your abilities are valuable. Your presence is valuable. Put value on who you are, not on who people think you are. Because the minute you put value on what people think is the minute you start looking down on yourself. Then you start pressing yourself down. And that's when you go into a state of questioning. Now you start questioning. Have you ever heard of this concept called imposter syndrome? So imposter syndrome is this: when you're in a position in life and you're doing something. Like, for example, we could have imposter syndrome sitting here now. There's so many podcasts in the world today. Great podcasts like Kwai, man. The people are cool. That looks good. It's like, you know, it's cool that they talk Kwai stuff.
Not boring, yeah.
You know, exactly. But if we have to question our place in the ecosystem of podcasts, right? Then we might say to ourselves, no, man, but we're not really good. Nobody's watching us. Nobody's listening to us. You question yourself. That's imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is when you question why you are where you are. If you have been placed in a high seat in society and you wonder if you deserve to be there, that's imposter syndrome. And I find that imposter syndrome in the colored community, I'm going to make it specific, is a big thing. Because a lot of us, when we step into a room full of people, we wonder whether we belong there. We wonder if we deserve to be there. We need to feel like we must do extra to show that we are supposed to be there. But you know what? If you step into a room, own it. Own your space there. You belong there. But you only belong there if you believe it. That's the thing. If you're questioning your position there, then you have imposter syndrome. We need to fight against that. We are worthy. Us colored people, we are worthy to take up space in the world.
So in a nutshell, what you're saying is a lot of people sell themselves short.
Sell themselves short.
Sell yourself short.
That's imposter syndrome.
So what you got to do is, when you have or you recognize your value, you stay in your lane. You do your thing. Remember now, everybody, you looking at someone else's work, right? They have added value to their work. And you can see that value in what when they're looking at your work, they might be thinking the same thing, but you don't, because you shutting yourself down, because you are, like you're saying, going back to what you were saying, you understand? So, guys, he said this was my topic at the beginning, but it looks like he prepared himself well.
Nah, but I'm passionate about this.
Yeah, no.
Because this is about value, man. This is about us believing in ourselves. And, you know, if you get pressed down, it happens. But if you believe in yourself, you're not going to stay down. You're going to get up. You know what I'm saying? You're going to say, you know what? Yeah, maybe I failed here. But I'm going to get up, man.
But giving you a story like this, there's one guy that I follow. I watch his videos all the time. He was like overweight, obese, and he saw this on TV, this Navy SEALs walking down and getting their medals, and, you know, they graduated. And he saw himself on that stage. But then going back to what you just said now, but then he looked at his weight. How am I ever? Stop joking at yourself, man. He's like hectically overweight. But then he looked at that and he visualized, no, man, but that can be me then. And he went and he took on, and they looked at him funny, but he said so many times, he wanted to give up. But a few years down the line, he was one of those candidates that was graduating.
Yeah.
Until today, he lives with that mindset. He writes books. He tells his real story, not stories made up, about how his mindset and who he is as a person has generated his passion to become what he sees himself as. You know, so we can stand here, we can talk all the nice things of how to pick yourself up and how falling forward, and until you're in that situation, it becomes a mountain in front of you. I was literally there, and I'm still there in certain situations, but it passes, man. You just got to take it one step at a time, day by day, you know. Try your best. What I told you earlier, whatever you can't handle, you give it to the man above. He'll handle it for you because he knows your heart. And but yeah, going back to what you were saying. So you losing your job for the first time. That was trying to tell you, listen, you need to get out of this.
Yeah.
So that was part of your, because it would have kept going on, you'd still be at that place.
Yeah.
You know, and the similar thing happened. I never got retrenched, but previous company that I worked for, the owners sold the assets. So I was like found in limbo. What do I do now? Yes, I can go work there, but how's it gonna be? You know, and I've always also was passionate about doing something for myself, and it's not for everyone. I can tell you that, but it's there for the taking. You know, try it out. But like I said, for those that's not into, because remember now, if you've never desired or you've never wanted to be a business owner or hustle on the side, it's not gonna. It's probably not gonna work for you.
Yeah.
Because the zeal isn't there. The hunger, you know, to achieve is not there. Because the hard-headedness you're gonna have to be, and hard op jou tande you're gonna have to make it in the business world. You know, you're gonna have
It's
to.
real.
It's real.
It's real. I hear what you're saying, Shane, but I think sometimes we need to attach our mindset must always be about, like, why am I doing this? What do I like? Say for example, you have a goal. You want to achieve something, right? So say you want to buy a house for your family, right? But currently, what you're earning is not enough, right? So now you look at your circumstances and say, okay, this is my job. This is what I'm earning at the moment. I need to get to the place where I can buy me a house or buy my family a house. So what can I do in order to supplement my income so that I can get more income? It doesn't necessarily mean starting a business, for example. It could be anything that you're allowed to do on the side legally. Let's just put that out there, right? You know, if you're in a position where you can do extra work, do work on the side, it's also like starting a business. But you know, the concept of, like, I think what I was, I think, like, when we, you know, sometimes starting a business happens by accident. Sometimes you don't know that you have that within you. You know, sometimes it comes on you accidentally. But I agree with you, it's not for everybody. You know, but don't sell yourself short and attach how you get to things. Rather move away from what you are doing currently and let it be about what you want to achieve You know, because that is going to determine what you need to do. Because if you're earning a little money,
I can.
how can you get there if you're not going to do something extra?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not always about us and about something
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
I mean, just make an example. If you're a driver, I mean, you can go and speak to the procurement, you help them offload. I mean, chat to the people you don't know who you're chatting to, and there you fall into a sales position, and then you understand what I'm saying.
I hear you 100%
And
because
then
you can basically map your growth.
you do a business course, and there you become a management course, sales manager.
Yeah, 100%.
So you gotta sell yourself. You're in an interview all the time.
Yeah.
So
I get that, and it actually completely makes sense what you're saying now. You know, because like the route to growth, or the route to more, to achieve your goals. Like when I say more, I mean financially more. Doesn't always have to be that you have to do a side hustle. Sometimes you can be within the company that you're working for,
working
but
your way
you're just not satisfied that this is the only position there for you. You can work your way up the ladder. Yeah.
Because I mean, you were given an opportunity at this company.
Yeah.
But you had to start from the bottom. Yes, sir, I'm trying to think of this person that got a job at this company, but on a volunteer. Oh, it's my auntie actually.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a birthday anyway. I never knew her journey and her husband. She was 50. We can't tell. I won't tell you which auntie it is. But anyway, so he spoke and he gave her journey. I never knew this about her. But the story she gave me, she volunteered in this department, and she eventually got a job within there. But she had to volunteer to get the job.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? She
had to
gave
be
of
there.
herself.
Yeah,
But some people can't do that because they got to get bring home some bucks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to start somewhere, and
Absolutely.
and then you work
to bring your value to the table. You have to actually have to bring it to the table.
and you're not
You
gonna
can't just expect. Yeah.
you're not gonna pimp your way to the top
Yeah.
or do other stuff to get to the top.
And people do that, but
Yes.
yeah.
Get it based on merit, because
Yeah.
then after you've got all this experience and qualifications, you got the license manager, sales and all that, and then you get a job offer from another company and then you
Yeah.
move over.
And
You know?
yeah.
But anyway, I'm just that
And when you
was-
get there, don't get a big head, because
yeah,
us people can sometimes, when we reach that levels, then we become
but
arrogant or
but
prideful.
we're not gonna judge now.
I'll judge people that's arrogant and prideful. I'm joking.
We don't know their journey.
But be humble, man.
Yeah, no. Be lekker. That's
Be
the
lekker,
motto.
be
Be
lekker.
lekker. But
Be lekker.
Graham, I mean, it's nice to talk like this, and I mean, there's people within the space that's got a job, but still feels within this depressed state, and nothing you say brings them up, and they just not enjoying any part of their life, and there could be other issues, and I mean, like,
I'm with you. I hear what you're saying, because if I get right, what you're saying is that we're saying a lot of positive things, and we're like motivating and encouraging people, saying, you know what, get up and work hard and all that stuff. But the reality of doing that can be very different, because when you're in that state of being down, it doesn't matter what anybody says.
you surpass
It doesn't.
that stage of still taking in motivation,
Positive,
positiveness.
Yeah, but I think like the key with that for me is that it doesn't matter what we say, it doesn't matter what anybody says, but it matters what you decide, because the decision has to come from you. It doesn't matter what we say or how we say it. If you don't take it in, if you don't decide to do something about it, then there's nothing anybody can do. This is the key. The key is that everything rests with you. You have to make a decision. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a big thing. You don't have to get up and have all the answers for every problem that you have in your life. That's not what we're saying. But there are other things that you can do. If you're feeling down and out, you can stand up and you can ask for help. That's one step you can take. And yes, it's not easy to ask somebody for help. But you know what? You'll be surprised at the amount of people that are out there that will be for you. Maybe it's not even your close, your nearest and your dearest. Maybe it's someone completely outside of that. The point is, ask for help. Don't be scared to ask for help. Don't be scared to say you're too deep, you can't do anything for yourself. If that's going to a support group, if that's going to a counselor at a church maybe, or at an institution where you can get help, do that. Take the first step. All we're saying is take one step, because when you take one step, it's one step forward, and that's all you have to do to take the next step.
No, 100%. And I think on that note, Graham, we can wrap it up over there. And,
We've said it all.
Yes, just humble yourself.
Yeah.
No one will think bad about you if you asking for help. Yeah. I mean, I think on our previous episode, I also mentioned, I mean, me personally, I find myself in a space where I don't know. I need to always sometimes speak, and luckily, I've got a wife I could speak to, or can speak to, and we all need it. We're all human, but just move forward, one step at a time. And you climb that mountain, and once you get on top, you will never be sorry, and it gives you the ability to help someone else also, But anyway, we'll leave it as that, and let us know, chat with us, and like we said, we like to keep this going, keep it interesting, and
if you have any thoughts, ideas, tell us in the comments, or send us a message if you're more comfortable with that. We're very open to that. And thanks for watching, and thanks for spending some time with us, and we hope to see you guys soon. See you at the next episode.
Be lekker.
Be lekker.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Okay.